Well, a much different tone, as Rich was just discussing on last night's debate stage. The Republican candidates really dialing it back. So did that help or hurt any of them for next week's upcoming primaries? Our political panel is here to weigh in. Democratic pollster and strategist Jessica Tarlov and Republican strategist and former communications aide for the McCain-Palin presidential campaign, Boris Epshteyn. So who won and who lost? We're going to ask our experts right here. Lots of people with their opinions on Twitter. Jessica, who do you think? Who won, first of all?
Well, who properly won for me is Marco Rubio, who I think showed again why he's running in this race.
For him last night.
Yes, I do think that the audience was largely pro-Rubio, and I'm not sure if that's just because of what he was saying.
Or home court advantage.
Yes, exactly. But I think that after a debate where Marco Rubio really lowered himself to Trump's level and went after him and, you know, elicited the awful hands moment from last week, that he did well to stick with his message, which I think is hopeful and forward-looking, and to show why he's a great debater. And he's so quick, and I think that he really is the best that the Republicans are offering. But I would also like to say that Donald Trump was a winner because Donald Trump always wins. His voters will stick by him through anything, and we saw that, you know, with the questions about the protesters at his rallies that have been beaten. He doesn't say that he elicits that violence, that he encourages it. He's actually said that he would pay their legal fees. Yeah. You know, the incident
he and the employee accused of doing it, or the person that works on his campaign, have both denied that.
Absolutely, and Michelle Fields, who the Fox audience knows well. I mean, she didn't invent those bruises, and this story is not going away. And a lot of people have talked about it, and I will reiterate: Trump has already lost 15 points with women that will continue to stink if you ignore violence. I mean, when you compare that to Ted Cruz firing his spokesman after he lied about Marco Rubio saying something, the fact that he's denying it, it's mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, and but there has been incidents of violent protesters at a lot of the campaigns, Democrat and Republican. In this
not on the same level.
Yeah,
of course, the Democrats.
Okay, so winner loser here.
Well, tell me how it's the same level.
The winner is Donald Trump. Because he continues to lead. He's cruising toward the nomination. There's no question about that. And he had a good debate. He was more substantive. He was more presidential. He talked about uniting the party, which is what he needs to focus on now. What he's been focusing on really since Super Tuesday, maybe even a bit before that. So he was strong. None of the other candidates have a shot at this point. Now, Marco Rubio tried to out-Trump Trump, but he completely failed. And now he's going back to saying, I'm the nice guy. Well, we already saw that he's not. So when you're trying both sides of the coin, you're failing on both. He's now playing for the next nomination. Republicans do have a history of nominating somebody who's second in a previous nominating contest. So Rubio's thinking maybe he'll be the nominee in 2024.
Yeah, I do have a feeling that Trump will be answering more to those allegations today, though. Okay, so Jessica, winner loser. Who did you think lost?
John Kasich, who I actually thought was the winner out of the Fox debate last week by coming out as the adult in the room. You know, he didn't get involved in the personal attacks, and the focus groups were resoundingly for him because he, you know, just went forward with his message of unity. He talked about how, you know, he's balanced budgets. He actually works with Democrats. I mean, John Kasich won 86 of 88 counties in Ohio, which is remarkable. He has over a 50% favorability rating. Ohioans like him, which is why I actually think he has a chance next week. But when everyone else is behaving, then John Kasich just isn't that interesting, unfortunately. So he's my loser.
Kind of fades away. So who did you think lost last night?
First of all, the viewers lost. It was a boring debate. It wasn't that interesting. I think the candidates are tired. There's been a lot of debates, and it's the third week in a row. There's a debate on a Thursday, so they're all sort of out of debate. And Donald Trump said that right after the debate was over. So it wasn't as exciting as it was. Otherwise, all three of Kasich, Rubio, and Cruz lost.
Really?
Because they didn't do anything to move themselves up in the polls. They didn't do anything to give themselves more of a shot.
I don't know. Well, people are saying, though, and I've listened to, you know, pundits last night, this morning, everybody has a different opinion, but different people have said almost each one of them won the debate and did a better job. And Rubio, you have to admit, did a better job than he did in the last debate.
Well, the goal is to not win the debate. The goal is to get more delegates and to be the nominee, right? So, yeah, maybe Rubio did
too late for him?
A little better. Right, and this is what, the 12th, 13th debate, and Rubio's been on every part of the nice, not nice spectrum, and he's never moved the needle. He's down by right about 20 in his home state.
Yeah, he said accusing people of flip-flopping on the issues, and he's kind of flip-flopped on his personality.
And on the issues.
A little bit,
you remember him on amnesty? He's had a real tough time.
He's only down 8 points in the last poll in Florida.
We're going to have you both come back in the next half hour so we can continue that thought.